I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Once again, welcome back to another review. This is another paid request, this time from Dan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or commentaries, requests, topics, reviews, re-reviews, or anything in between, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called Edge of Honor from 1991. Now that I think about it, this is the second time I've seen this. It's for free on YouTube. And I don't think there's a... I don't know if there's a DVD. I know there's now a Blu-ray of it. I thought it was an okay average film. That's how I thought when I first saw it. And it's weird because I can't remember how I first saw some of my favorite films ever, but I do remember where I first saw this quite a few years ago, around 2004, give or take, 2003. Where I was living at, there was a store nearby called Hastings. Now, they had a website called Go Hastings, which is where I got a lot of DVDs because it was very cheap. But I would go to the actual store, and it was big. It was a big store. To me, it's the best store that I've ever been to in my life. It was, I don't want to say it was the size of a Target, but it was close. Like, it was big. It wasn't just a... And like over here was magazines, and then over there was CDs, and there were like clothing with movie stuff on it, movie characters. There was a litany, a smorgasbord of movies to rent, movies to buy, but also movies to rent. Like the whole wall was littered with movies, DVDs you could rent all across the way. There were so many to rent. Even the Rambo cartoon was available to rent on DVD. Even something like, at the time, a rare DVD, Intruder, slasher film from the late 80s, that was available to rent. I mean, they had almost anything you could think of to rent, as well as VHS. And I would go through the VHS. It was cheap. You could get deals if you rent so many. So I would do that. And Edge of Honor, I looked at the VHS tape, I go, oh, Corey Feldman stars in this. Okay. This is 1991, so this is around the time of when he did the Ninja Turtles, the voice of Donatello in 1990. It makes me wonder, is one of the reasons why he didn't do the voice in 1991 is, number one, probably drug problems. Number two, doing films like this. Because they came out the same year as Secret of the Ooze, which I'm thankful for because I think he was a shit Donatello voice. I love the Ninja Turtles. I love the 1999 Ninja Turtles. Robbie Rist and Josh Payas and... oh, I forgot his name. Voice Leonardo. Brian Tochi. They were great. Donatello, I thought he sucked. I think the guy who voiced him in Secret of the Ooze, the second one, was a much better Donatello. I'm going off topic, but that's how I do. So he's top billed as a star, even though it didn't feel like he was the star. I mean, he's in the film quite a bit. He just he never star of the movie in a weird way. I mean, it felt like the other guy, Scott Reeves, who was in Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, is one of the only survivors of that film. This is the only other film I can think of that he's been in. It felt like he was more the star. Like he was the first to kill someone in self-defense and other little points here and there. Anyway, before I get into that, the plot of the film. It takes place in the Pacific Northwest, where I guess the fishing industry at this time has fallen and people started smuggling drugs and guns. We know this because we see text at the beginning. Then we have our group of bad guys, these bumpkins, country bumpkins. Don Swayze, Patrick Swayze's brother, is one of them. And he does look a bit like his brother, I will say. And usually he plays villains in films. Anyway, him and his crew kill these other guys who are doing this deal. They steal their weapons because they don't sell them on their own. And it's these shoulder-mounted rocket launchers. They hide them somewhere. Meanwhile, 3 Eagle Scouts, Boy Scouts, they couldn't quite call them that, otherwise they get sued. So I forget what they call them in the movie, but they're pretty much Eagle Scouts. And one of them is Corey Feldman, the other is Scott Reeves from, again, Jason Takes Manhattan, and a third guy. So they're messing around, they find this shack, and they find these weapons. And it's like they're going to hide them somewhere, and then they're going to come back for it. But then I guess they forget where the hell they put it, because they never do go back for it. And then they're like, oh, we're going to go back for it. But then, why not just go to the cops, tell them about the shack? Because by this point, they don't know that the cops and other people are in on this. Like, or go back and tell the people there, hey, by the way, we found something, come with us. You'll tell the leaders of your campsite. It's too heavy for them to carry, but they're going to carry it later, I guess. But they're not going to tell their camp leaders, the more adult folk. I'm like, why don't you just go up and say, hey, this is what we found, go back, here we are, oh shit. Maybe they could get a phone, make a phone call, something. But yeah, I didn't really understand the character's plan. Or why did you move him in the first place? Why didn't you just leave him in the fucking shack? You looked at it, you found it, let's go back. No, you dragged it somewhere, and then you're thinking, okay, maybe they'll go back and find these shoulder-mounted rockets and use them. Get some fun. Action. No. Those shoulder-mounted rocket launchers, they forget where the fuck they put them, and then it's never brought up as in, that's what the bad guys want. They want to know where the fuck's our stuff. One of the kids stupidly left a map on the ground, which leads back to their campsite. Don Swayze and this other guy go there. They kill most of the people in the campsite. I'm assuming also kids, too. They even mention, oh my god, we killed kids, too. Not Don Swayze, but the other guy. And so, those 3 guys, Corey Feldman, Scott Reeves, this third guy, and then 2 little kids, the 5 of them run off into the woods and try to survive. Meanwhile, before that, you have Meredith Salinger, who worked with Corey Feldman on Dream a Little Dream. I think they were an item for a bit of time. Boyfriend, girlfriend. She's in the film where her family gets killed by Don Swayze. She had survived, and then she comes out to help the 5 other characters. And then it's almost like it's trying to be, imagine Judgement Night, but instead of it being in the city, it's in the woods, the Pacific Northwest. Although Judgement Night is a much better movie and came out after this. Judgement Night, if you don't know, Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary, really good fucking film. This, though, it just felt like an average flick. Corey Feldman, he was not leading man material at this point in life. And yeah, it's like the filmmakers knew it too, because he's top billed. But yeah, Scott Reeves, like, he's the first to kill someone in self-defense. He becomes the leader of the group. They turn to him. What do we do? Do we do this? Do we do that? Okay, we'll do this. So yeah, Scott Reeves becomes the leader. He's the guy doing a bit more of the physical stuff. If Corey Feldman was not a name, Scott Reeves would have been first on the call sheet. But no, it's Corey Feldman, then his girlfriend Meredith Salinger, and then Scott Reeves. And again, it's like, I don't know, maybe someone said, hey, we don't get him in there, but we know we can't have him in the lead. He's not the best leading man material. I think Corey Haim is a guy that fits better as a lead. And I think if they hired Corey Haim, he would have been more of the lead. Maybe that's just me. Other bad guys, they get together. Christopher Neame, who is the bad guy in Chuck Norris's Hellbound. He's also the bad guy in Street Night with Jeff Speakman. He's been in other stuff too. He plays his character named Blade, and that's because he's got a blade on his wrist that he'll try to hold people by their neck, and then the knife will come out and hit him in the neck. Why the fuck would you let this guy hold your neck in the first place? I'm not gonna let some guy fucking hold their hand on my neck like this. Oh, surprise, motherfucker. No, you're not getting your fucking hand on my fucking neck in the first place. I'm gonna kick you in the balls. Fuck out of my face. And then I didn't. The 5 of them are chased through the woods. Scott Reeves shoots a guy in self-defense. They knock a few out. At one point they get to the sheriff. They've been split up. Meredith Salinger saves them because the cops are a bit dirty as well. And wilderness survival movies, there's been quite a bit out there. And there are better ones. There's one called Wilderness. Came out, I forgot what year, in the 2000s. That's a pretty decent flick, Wilderness. Rituals with Hal Holbrook, that's a great one. Southern Comfort, that's a great one. I'll give you this, the location is nice. They make a good usage of the locations. Like, there's a bit where the kids come across this clearing where logging is taking place, and a whole shitload of trees are cut down. It's like a graveyard of trees. And you get a nice scope, and the location does help. The location does help. It's a nice location they shot at. But action-wise, it's average at best. Acting-wise, average at best. The score took me out of the movie. Because there are times, I swear, the score sounds like it's a score for a kid's film. The score doesn't really fit at times with trying to be a bit more of a serious story. It's like the composer at times, he just saw kids on the screen, so he just thought, oh, I got to score like a kid's film. It just took me out of it. Like, if you watch the film, it's on YouTube, pay attention to the score. At times it just was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was glaring. It was, God, don't you hate it when you have a word that's on the tip of your tongue that it just, push it out, brain, whatever. The word I'm thinking of, it describes that it feels out of the blue. It gets you disconnected from the viewing experience. And it was down a bit annoying. It was noticeable when it took me out of the movie. And this is when, a good score curve really helped the proceedings. Now, there's a couple of decent little action bits. There's a part that they hide in a barn. They drive a truck out. Don Swayze blows up the whole barn. And yeah, Don Swayze does have... He does remind me of his brother, Patrick Swayze. Like, you could tell that the two were related to each other. But again, like, Don Swayze always plays the bad guy. And again, he does fine for what he's given to do. But yeah, they blow up the barn. Real explosives. Like, real shit blowing up. And in the finale, they take one of their own. They take one of the little kids. So the other four and Meredith Salinger, they know where the meeting takes place. We want our guns. We want our rocket launchers. Now, you're thinking maybe someone will remember where the fuck they put the rocket launchers. And, okay, there's like 2 of them. Let's use them on these motherfuckers. No. Now, you bring up the idea of rocket launchers, shoulder-mounted rocket launchers. I'm not going to take this film seriously as a piece of filmmaking. It's just try to be escapism entertainment. Might as well go the full route. Instead, they go the other route with over the top, where the bad guys with the little kid, they in their trucks. You have Don Swayze, Christopher Neame, this other guy, I forget. I recognize the actor. I've seen him in other stuff, but I don't remember his name. And a few others. They're on the road. And these kids create fucking traps that would make the A-team splooge in their pants. Like, they create, explosions and behind them to fuck up Don Swayze's truck. They have these 2 gigantic logs as big and thick as some people's houses. It just... How the fuck they could have... These meager, scrawny kids and a girl... Somehow, these gigantic fucking trees, 2 of them, they're able to pull up and secure this, like, pulley system, and then they swing down and fuck up this van. Or you have a cascade of other trees, logs. I'm like, how the fuck do all these people make these crazy-ass fucking traps that you would need a fucking logging crew the size of 50 to accomplish, but these, 4 or 5 scrawny kids were able to do in just a matter of hours. Again, you're not supposed to... The movie you're supposed to take seriously, but I'm like, come on, whatever. I mean, at least something was happening. It looked cool. Done for real. Not CGI, any of that sort. Right, that's low-hanging fruit of a compliment. Again, I'm thinking, how the fuck did these kids make these fucking traps? Take care of the bad guys and go on their merry way. Spoiler alert. Spoilers. Meredith Salinger shoots Don Swayze in the head since Don Swayze killed her family. Christopher Neame has his little blade out. Corey Feldman cuts something down. So you have... That's another thing they have. The spike trap. Like Vietnam era spike trap that comes in, impales Christopher Neame. I like the way it looks. The production crew putting this stuff together did a pretty nice job. But I don't buy these fucking kids doing it. And I haven't talked much about the characters. There's really not much to talk about. There's really not much personality you could describe with these characters. There's really not much dialogue. There's really nothing to talk about in terms of the characters. They're barely characters. Just, they're Eagle Scouts. They find this stuff. They go to take a bat. That they're not going to take a bat. Then why the fuck did you move it from the shot to the first place? If you didn't move it from the shot to the first place, the bad guys would not have noticed, and you'd be fine. Or if you don't take it to secure location, And remember where the fuck it is that you could come back and start using them against the bad guys. Like, do little Red Dawn shit. Why not? It's not realistic. Well, what happens at the end is not realistic either. So we might as well go the full 9 yards. But hey. What do I know? So you have a store that is off tilt. That's not. I don't think it's that good of a store. It's a short film. I'll give you that. The locations, great looking Pacific Northwest locations. But I'm a sucker for that because it's beautiful landscape. Even if they shoot in Canada and other places for that, still, where it's supposed to take place Pacific Northwest, maybe it was shot, I don't know if it was in Washington they shot or where. It looks beautiful. Again, I'm a sucker for that location. Nice to see some familiar faces, like Corey Feldman, even like you, Don Swayze, Christopher Neame, etc. Like I said, Corey Feldman, he didn't feel like the lead. He didn't really have the leading man presence, the take charge attitude. He was not the leader. They didn't look to him as the leader. Even though he's top bill, he's pretty much... He felt like a supporting character. Again, based on his presence, based on like how the film viewed him. But at times it felt like, oh, he is the lead, because of the boys, he's the first that we pretty much see, as in he gets one of his friends in a trap. At the end of the film, he's the last to walk away down the road. So it's like the movie's like trying to think of him as the lead, but he hasn't really acted or behaved like a lead character. Like Scott Reeves. Like I said, I mentioned this before, he's the one who killed the guy in self-defense. One of the few bad guys, well, until the end, one of the few bad guys killed. He's a guy who tries to, thankfully, like, they don't go into a love story cliche, but he's trying to bond with Meredith Salinger. He's a guy who, you guys go ahead, I'll stay behind, we'll screw it, we're going to make a plan to get this kid back. He's a guy who's leading them through the woods. He's a guy when they're getting shot at and they're hiding, he's the one barking orders around. Speaking of Red Dawn, it'd be like if Charlie Sheen, they said he was the lead, even though you go, well, wait a minute, Patrick Swayze feels more like the lead, but you're saying the lead is Charlie Sheen. Kind of like here. And like I said, it's just an average, okay film that if you're a sucker for wilderness movies, if you watch, you're a sucker for 90s movies, maybe you're a sucker for Corey Feldman. Granted, I was more of a Corey Haim guy, but it's worth a watch. There's a lot worse movies out there, but it's nothing remarkable. It's nothing extraordinary. It's nothing that's gonna impress you. I mean, maybe a little bit of the traps at the very end, but it's nothing that's gonna blow you away. Maybe if you go on with low expectations, hey, it's a time waster, it's raining out, it is what it is. But it's not something I hope they did on Blu-ray. Nah, not really. It's just an average film. I mean, okay, like, I don't do much of star ratings, but out of 5, I would give it like maybe 2.5. I can't even give it 3. I would give like 2.5. Like 2.5 to me is average. So average film. Like if the characters had a bit more oomph to them, personality, likability, humor, something that makes them stand out as characters. Perhaps if the store was more competent, more suspenseful, and granted, Alan Silvestri was doing a bit of Predator in Judgement Night, but even that had more of an intensity. I never felt the intensity with the film. I never felt it got into that second or third gear to really go full force. And I can see why it's kind of a movie that's been forgotten. Can't really blame people for that. But it's not a horrible movie. Like I said, it's just an average film. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.